Imagine spending your entire life working and struggling, waking up every single day to trade your precious time for currency, only to discover in the end that everything you knew about money was a calculated lie. From here in the heart of Washington, D.C., specifically behind the heavy stone walls of the United States Federal Reserve, 7 historic decisions were secretly made, decisions that completely ruined your financial future. To understand how you fell into this invisible trap, we must travel back in time to ground zero. The year is 1913. A top-secret meeting of 7 financial titans and elite billionaires takes place on the isolated Jekyll Island. In absolute secrecy, the law was cooked, the very document they forced U.S. President Woodrow Wilson to sign on a dark, forgotten night. This dollar bill was born in a golden era when paper represented real, tangible value, backed completely by pure gold stacked deep inside fortress-like vaults. But the final result of this conspiracy? A devastating, sharp collapse in the purchasing power of your hard-earned savings, plunging from a solid 100% down to a mere 4%, silently wiping out generations of human labor, and leaving your modern wealth in absolute ashes. For you, we are exposing the 7 secret decisions made in total darkness, behind closed doors to control your wealth and your future. 7 decisions in 7 minutes. Prepare yourself. Decision 1. The illusion of control. Winter 1913. Jekyll Island. 6 elite men boarded a private train under fake names to meet in total secrecy. They didn't just build a bank, they engineered a shadow government. They stripped the nation of its sovereign power, the constitutional right to print its own currency. Then they handed that power directly to a private cartel of Wall Street bankers. They named it the Federal Reserve. A brilliant, calculated lie to trick the masses. It is not government. It never was. It is a private syndicate driven by absolute profit and global control. From that single day, the trap was sprung. Every dollar printed was no longer wealth. It became a dead instrument, destroying 96% of your purchasing power and ensuring that you and your country remain broke forever. Decision 2. The legalized theft. April 5, 1933. The Great Depression was crushing the masses, leaving millions starving. But behind closed doors, a brutal financial ambush was signed into law. Executive Order 6102. With a single stroke of a pen, Roosevelt made it a severe criminal offense for everyday citizens to own real gold. Private safe deposit boxes were legally raided by federal agents. Hand over your life savings or face a massive $10,000 fine and 10 years in a federal prison. The terrified public surrendered their eternal wealth, trading it for worthless paper slips. Once the gold was locked tight in government vaults, the elite instantly jacked its price from $20 to $35 an ounce overnight. That is a 69% wealth heist, engineered legally. They permanently severed your connection to true financial freedom, trapping you inside a paper illusion. A rigged fiat matrix where they control the printing press, while you are left to pay the price through endless compounding inflation, destroying your future forever. Decision 3. The ultimate illusion. August 15, 1971. The global financial system was rewired in total darkness, betraying every country on Earth. President Richard Nixon walked up to the television cameras. With a single cold announcement, he shattered the Bretton Woods Agreement and, temporarily, suspended the convertibility of the US dollar into real gold. That temporary, political lie became permanent. The gold standard was officially dead. Overnight, the dollar lost its final anchor to reality. It became pure fiat, backed by absolutely nothing but a government promise and military enforcement. This was the birth of the modern inflation trap, a global economic prison. Since that exact day, the central bank printing presses have never stopped, unchaining a catastrophic tidal wave of paper money that systematically steals your purchasing power and devalues your hard work. They didn't just change the rules of the game, they made money a weaponized illusion. And you? You've been trading your real limited lifetime for their worthless unlimited paper ever since. Decision 4. The Petrodollar Pact. 1974. The gold standard was dead and the US dollar was bleeding out. To save their currency from total collapse, Washington executed one of the most ruthless geopolitical chess moves in history. A secret envoy was sent to Saudi Arabia. The ultimate deal was struck. The United States would provide absolute military protection to the kingdom in exchange for one single devastating condition. Every single barrel of oil sold to the world must be priced exclusively in US dollars. Overnight, they turned unbacked paper into liquid gold. It didn't matter if foreign countries trusted American promises anymore. If they wanted to drive cars, heat homes, or run factories, they had to buy US dollars first. This brilliant, dark trap forced the entire planet to artificially finance the American empire. They backed their currency with the one thing the modern world cannot survive without: oil. And the ultimate catch? Anyone who dared to break this pact learned the hard way exactly why that military protection was there. Decision 5. The Bailout Era. 2008. The global financial system was on the verge of absolute annihilation. Wall Street's reckless greed had triggered a catastrophic meltdown. But instead of letting the corrupt giants crash and face the consequences, the Federal Reserve made a devastating, historic move. They institutionalized quantitative easing, a complex, academic term for a simple, coordinated crime, printing trillions of dollars out of thin air to rescue the billionaire elites who caused the crisis in the first place. This single decision permanently broke the foundation of the free market. They privatized the massive profits for the top 1%, while forcing the unsuspecting public to pay for their sins through a hidden, crushing tax: endless inflation. They chose to save a broken system by sacrificing your hard-earned purchasing power, creating a toxic cycle of endless debt. The financial matrix was expanding, trapping future generations, but the ultimate climax was yet to come. Decision 6. The Pandemic Press. 2020, the entire planet came to a sudden, terrifying halt. As fear gripped humanity, a silent, economic hyperweapon was unleashed behind closed doors. The Federal Reserve initiated the most aggressive, unchecked money-printing spree in human history. In a matter of months, they conjured more digital dollars out of absolutely nothing than the United States government had created in its entire existence. They called it emergency relief. In reality, it was the ultimate wealth transfer. While local businesses were forced to collapse and ordinary citizens survived on crumbs, the billionaire class watched their net worth skyrocket to astronomical heights. They systematically diluted the purchasing power of your money, lighting the fuse for the global cost of living crisis we are drowning in today. The middle class was vaporized. The financial trap was sprung. And the stage was now perfectly set for their seventh and final catastrophic move. Decision 7. The CBDC Endgame. The final trap is no longer about printing money out of thin air. It is about deleting your financial freedom forever. Behind closed doors, central banks are quietly orchestrating the death of physical cash, forcing humanity into a new era: central bank digital currencies. Make no mistake, this is not Bitcoin and this is not crypto. This is programmable money. A flawless digital leash controlled entirely by the Federal Reserve. With a single keystroke, they will possess the absolute power to track your every purchase, restrict what you are allowed to buy, or freeze your entire existence if you dare to step out of line. In this dystopian reality, your savings will have an expiration date to force your spending, and a social credit score will dictate your basic financial survival. The illusion of choice is completely fading. 1971 started the Great Theft, but the endgame is total, absolute algorithmic control. The financial matrix is now complete. The digital cage is locked. And as the door shuts, you must ask yourself one final question. Do you actually own your money, or does the system own you?